You know, it's been far too long since I featured this artist on my channel, but that's because I keep introducing new artists onto my channel. So don't forget to like, subscribe and press those buttons because all my videos are in French. But let's get back to Stromae and Santé. What is the song today about? It says that the song is a festive song and it's dedicated to health workers during the COVID times. And after after putting his solo career on hold for more than 8 years, Stromae made a comeback in 2021 with the single Santé. This title marks the arrival of Multitude, and 13 tracks are on that, and this is track 4. As usual, the Belgian artist took part in the composition of the track, accompanied for the first time by Trapano Tosh and by Moon Willis, an American producer who notably worked with Chris Brown. Now, Santé is a lively track with pop electronic sounds, which Stromae takes an interest in the ungrateful professions of the Horeca, who in France task is to make sure that others have a good festival time. Whilst inviting everyone to think about the piece, Stromae takes on an unpleasant drunken air in the second verse of this song, had he done on the formidable, and that was 8 years ago before he had the break. It was unveiled at 6 p.m. French time, and the title accompanied by a clip published on YouTube 12 hours later. And it was directed by Luc Van Heve, Stromae's brother, as well as by Jaroslav Moravec, for whom this is the first collaboration with the Belgian artiste. After 24 hours, the clip amassed 3 million views. And in January of this year, the song was certified gold in France by accumulating more than 15 million streams. Now, I could have played the video, which 15 million people have watched, but I decided to play a live version of the song because when I'd seen the images, the audience were taking part in the dance that Stromae had introduced. And as I said, it's got a bit of a history to it, and we'll just go into the song itself. He pays homage in this song to those who are not in the mood for celebrations while suffering during the COVID-19 pandemic, and that included employees of catering and cleaning businesses. Well done, Stromae. We always talk about the doctors and nurses, but the catering who had to feed the masses of people, the cleaning of the hospitals that had to be kept, the caregivers, the fishermen, the divers, the flight attendants, all of them he paid homage to. And I think the forgotten element of our society who also played a vital part in COVID, at least that they now get a voice in this song. I can understand now why it got 15 million views. And it's used for the title of the song is in France is usually used for celebratory toast. So you say chin chin in England, you say sláinte in Ireland, and then you get 2 glasses and you clink and you say santé in Francais. But it literally means the word health. So let's have a healthy look at this. I have the lyrics in front of me as always, and I'm going to enjoy the live version because I think sometimes live versions give you a different vibe and we get to appreciate the audience participating in it as well. And I'm looking forward to this. So with Stromae, Santé, enjoy.
À ceux qui n'en ont pas, Rosa, Rosa, quand on fout le bordel, tu nettoies. Et toi, Albert, quand on trinque, tu ramasses les verres. Céline, Bataire, toi tu te prends des vestes au vestiaire. Arlette, arrête, toi la fête tu la passes aux toilettes. Et si on célébrait ceux qui ne célèbrent pas? Pour une fois j'aimerais lever mon verre à ceux qui n'en ont pas. À ceux qui n'en ont pas. Tout le monde. bonne manière. Pourquoi je ferais semblant? De toute façon, on est payé pour le faire. Tu te prends pour ma mère? Dans 1 heure, je reviens. Que ce soit propre, qu'on puisse y manger par terre. 3 heures que j'attends. Franchement, il les fabrique ou quoi? Heureusement que c'est que de verre. Appelle-moi ton responsable et fais vite. Elle pourrait se finir comme ça, ta carrière. Oui, célébrons ceux qui ne célèbrent pas. Encore une fois, j'aimerais lever mon verre à ceux qui n'en ont pas. À ceux qui n'en ont pas.
Might as well join in.
À ceux qui n'en ont pas. Tout le monde. Frotter, frotter. Mieux vaut ne pas si. Frotter, frotter. Si tu ne me connais pas, brosser, brosser. Tu pourras toujours te brosser, brosser. Si tu ne me respectes pas, oui, célébrons ceux qui ne célèbrent pas. Encore une fois, j'aimerais lever mon verre à ceux qui n'en ont pas. À ceux qui n'en ont pas. Pilote d'avion ou infirmière, chauffeur de camion, hôtesse de l'air, boulanger ou marin pêcheur, un verre aux champions des pires horaires, aux jeunes parents bercés par les pleurs, aux insomniaques de profession, et tous ceux qui souffrent de peine de cœur, qui n'ont pas le cœur aux célébrations.
Well done.
Qui n'ont pas le cœur aux célébrations. Qui n'ont pas le cœur aux célébrations.
I've got to say, for that song, with my coffee, santé, to all the French and to everybody that was in that audience. If you were, please comment and tell me how you found the concert. I just find him the most extraordinary artiste in many ways, because even though he had an 8-year sabbatical, where that means in English he took a complete break for his mental and physical well-being, he came back to the love of a crowd that everybody there stood up and got involved with, because they knew that song was paying homage. And I'm even getting emotional because of the COVID and the caregivers and the cleaners and the people we don't speak about. We don't speak about them. We always speak about the doctors and nurses, and yes, they played their part. But Stromae, congratulations for being inclusive and doing a celebratory kind of uplifting tempo music in homage to them. It's great. So you're one of the few, actually I don't know of any other artist that has done that. So let's go to the lyrics now, and I did a bit of a workout there, so that's my morning workout done. Not much, but I have too many videos to upload today. So we go to, and don't forget everybody, it's from his Multitude 2021 album, and it's worth, as I always say, with the artists I bring onto my channel, it's worth having in your collection. And I shall feature another track, well, I won't say soon, because I've got so many requests for so many new artists now on my channel. But the lyrics from Health is this. The intro says, to those who don't have it. To those who don't have it. So it's quite a powerful, impactful statement to make straight away in a song, because verse 1 says, Rosa, Rosa, when we mess up, you clean up. And you, Albert, when we toast, you pick up the glasses. Celine, Celine, Bataire, Bataire, you take the jackets from the Arlette cloakroom. Stop, you, the party, you go to the toilet. It really is black and white, isn't it? It's like he's given names to obviously people he's been in contact with, obviously people he knows on a personal level. I'm sure that, throughout any place of work, we've all known cleaners, we've all known people in cloakrooms. I remember a friend of mine used to take people's coats and give them tickets as a job. We're always in contact with them, but we always look the other way. But they played a vital, important role during COVID. They kept the hospitals clean. They took people's jackets. All the mess that was left behind, the cleaners had to clean up. It's unbelievable what they did. So, that's the opening. And then it says, stop, you the party, you go to the toilet. And it's more or less, I could say it in a different way, but then I don't want to bring in a bit of profanity, in the sense that what do we all go to the toilet for? But then they had to clean the toilets, think about that, of overflowing hospitals for 12 to 16 hours per day. Just think about that. And then the chorus says, let's celebrate those who don't celebrate. Yes, let's celebrate those minorities that we overlook. And maybe the next time you do go into any place, even your own place of work, you will appreciate those people who keep it clean, those people who go out and tidy up the garden areas outside to make it look welcoming and make a grey building look colourful. We should embrace everybody. Because it says, for once I like to raise my glass to those who don't have one and those who don't have one. And you almost get choked with guilt. And I do feel guilty. I do feel guilty because not once did I think of the cleaners or the gardeners or the fishermen or the catering people who were cooking thousands of meals throughout the world to cater for the patients and guests and parents who stayed overnight, that kind of thing. So I don't have a glass, but I have a coffee cup I'm going to imagine is a champagne glass, and I'm going to say santé to all of you. Verse 2, what are good manners? Why would I pretend? Anyway, she's paid to do it. Do you think you're my mother? Good God, that's powerful. In an hour I'll be back, that it's clean, that we can eat on the floor. 3 hours I'm waiting. Well, frankly, they make them or what? Luckily, it's only 2 drinks. Call me your manager and hurry. It could end like this, your career. Can I just say something? Everybody was under intense, immense pressure during COVID within the establishments of health. Caregivers who were in nursing homes looking after the patients, their loved ones couldn't visit them, so they had to be a mother, a daughter, a sister, and almost act like a father figure in their lives, male or female patients, because their loved ones couldn't visit them in case they infected them. So the health workers had to become multifaceted in the role they played. And yet after COVID, they asked for a pay rise. And the governments in England and Ireland have ignored that. It's an absolute disgrace. I don't know about the rest of the world, because it said, what are good manners? Good manners would be to deservingly pay them what they're due and backdate it and gift them. If you go into the health, I think if you go into be a healthcare worker or a nurse, tax them less, give them more. They've proven themselves. Nurses were playing doctors' roles. It's wrong, because it says, as it said in the verse here, in an hour I'll be back, that it's clean, that we can eat on the floor. In other words, every single hospital, no matter how many people visited, the cleaners had to up their game and make sure that they worked 3 times as hard, that the place was 3 times cleaner. And no sooner had they cleaned the place where they called, and I can remember being in a hospital, but nothing to do with COVID. I didn't get COVID, thank God. But being in a hospital and listening to the microphone, and I actually did hear cleaners needed on floor 2, cleaners needed floor 1, would black, and the names came out. Would Anne-Marie go to floor 1, would black, and they were called back and forth, up and down, in and out, and they had to clean every handle, they had to clean the lifts, they had to clean the stairs, they had to clean. Whereas that would have been a Monday duty or a Wednesday duty, and they had a roster to do certain duties. They had to completely change that and do every 20 minutes, go back and do the toilets, go back and do the stair, and we didn't see that because they were that professional. And as I said there, call me a manager and hurry, it could end like this, your career. And many people, many cleaners lost their jobs. This is what we don't realize, lost their jobs because the managers were under such pressure to keep the hospital so clean. If anything went wrong, it worked its way down the management to the ordinary staff, who are the gardeners, the cleaners, the fishermen, the caregivers, and they were blamed for everything. And they're things we don't see as well. The bridge says rub, rub, rub. If you don't know me, brush, brush. You can always brush, brush if you don't respect me. Doesn't that say everything? That summarizes everything I've just said. The chorus says, yes, let's celebrate let's celebrate those who don't celebrate, because nobody invites them to celebrate. Wouldn't it be nice at Christmas times to invite everybody to a Christmas outing? And once again, I raise my glass to those who don't have one, because you don't put glasses aside for cleaners or gardeners or caregivers, don't you? They are on the lower, it's the nurses, doctors and people above that all clink their glasses, like we are the ones. I think since COVID they've learned a lot, and they've really appreciated what their fellow workers on lower levels, considered lower levels, well, they are paid lower, had played their part too. And the outro says airplane pilot or nurse, truck driver or air hostess, baker or fisherman, a drink to the champions of the worst hours, to young parents lulled by tears, to insomniacs by profession. Think about the words. And all of those who suffer from heartache, who don't have the heart for the celebrations. Every day, health workers, nurses, doctors, all of them had to deal with death during COVID. Every single day there was a death or multiple deaths, multiple tears, people waiting on trolleys, people getting angry, they were blamed for everything. It was horrendous. The mental pressure. And as he said, the worst hours, young parents. Think about how many people were in there and their own children were at home and they had to work double shifts, treble shifts. And it wasn't for the money because they were taxed. For every hour a health worker worked during COVID, they should not have been taxed. Ever. But they were. And the cleaners too. And who don't have the heart for celebrations. They didn't because they were dealing with death every day. Now Stromae did that video and we see them all participating, and he made a celebration out of it. He made a homage. Think about this. This is a homage song. And lastly, what he did was just to say thank you. So from the bottom of my heart, from Ireland, I say thank you to every health worker, caregiver, fisherman, gardener and cleaner that helped COVID and got us through COVID. Thank you for listening.